Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick with the Notorious Fantasy back again today with another fantasy football mock draft video. And today we're doing a 10-team PPR draft from the 4th position. But before I start the video, I'd like to ask you guys to please click the subscribe button down below, or that's on the right side of the screen where my cursor is right now. I'd also like to ask you to please leave a like and leave a comment also about something in the video. So, like I said, it's a 10-team PPR draft, and we're on Sleeper app. Just Google Sleeper mock drafting. You can find it on Google. So the roster is one quarterback, two running backs, two receivers, tight end, flex, kicker, defense, and 6 bench spots. So let's get right into it. We're at the 4th position. Begin. So, with the first pick goes Zeke, followed by Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley. So it's our pick, and it's no brainer. Alvin Kamara. They're going to be the top 4 backs off the board pretty much every single time. So whichever one you're left with at 4 here, it's going to be one of these. It's going to be one of these 3 guys. One of them is going to be left or Kamara, so you have to pick the one that's left. Because I don't think David Johnson or Melvin Gordon is a better running back than either of those guys, and I would not pick any receiver over these 4 guys. So, all right, we picked Alvin Kamara, followed by Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, David Johnson, Melvin Gordon, Le'Veon Bell, Odell Beckham Jr., Michael Thomas, James Conner, Juju Smith-Schuster, Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook, and Julio Jones, and now it's our pick. And we are in a 10-team league. So, what comes with being in a 10-team league means that we have to understand that the tight end position is far more important because there are less teams, and every team in a 10-team league is, unless they are stupid, the person that's drafting is stupid, is going to be a pretty much stacked team. It's pretty hard to not have good starters, at least in a 10-team league. It gets harder at a 12-team or 14-team league, or even a 16-team league. I would not suggest playing a 16-team league, but so as I say that, talking about how tight end is more important because you have the positional advantage at tight end where your running backs will still be kind of similar, or your receivers will be kind of similar if you wait one extra round to take those guys. So Travis Kelce is by far and away the best fantasy football option for this season at the tight end position. He's probably in a tier by himself. Travis Kelce is the best tight end on one of the most high scoring teams in the NFL. And Kansas City is definitely an offense you want to have a part of your fantasy team, whether that's Kelce or Tyreek Hill, who now it came out that he may have just 4 game suspension, maximum 4 game suspension. Is that true? Who knows? But as of right now, it may be only 4 games. Or Damian Williams, McCole Hardman, all those guys. Even Pat Mahomes, but I would not suggest drafting Pat Mahomes until like the 4th round if you are in a 4 point per passing touchdown quarterback league. So now it's our pick. And I talked all about the tight end Kelce, so we're going Kelce here to get that positional advantage. After we go Kelce, Adam Thielen, Damian Williams, Antonio Brown, Todd Gurley, Mike Evans, Devonta Freeman come off the board. So nothing really that strange has happened so far in this draft. Everything seems pretty vanilla to what you normally see in drafts. Now, I want to point out that I would not be drafting Todd Gurley here in the 3rd round, but he fell out of the 2nd round where he's been typically being drafted. At the beginning, when I started doing videos, it was the 1st. Now it's the beginning of July, so he's falling all the way to the 3rd. Now, I would not be drafting him there due to the injury to his knee. He has arthritis of the knee. I don't want any of that, but some people do, so it's okay. They can believe something, and I can believe differently, you know? We'll figure out at the end of the season if Gurley is able to do it. I think he still might be a top 12 running back when the season ends, but do you really want someone with that much of an injury risk on your team to start the year? I do not, so that's why I'm avoiding him. Okay, so now it's our pick. And at the running back position, Chubb is by far and away probably the best guy on here, besides Kerryon Johnson. And at the receiver, there's still some pretty solid receivers here. Our receiver 1 right here, Hilton or Keenan Allen would be solid starts to our receiving core. And normally I advise to go 2 out of 3 running backs in the first 3 rounds. But we're going to do something different here because I want to see what the team looks like if I do something different. So we're going to be going with Keenan Allen here. And nothing against T.Y. Hilton. They're in the same tier for me of receivers. But I want to have the upside of Keenan Allen and the Chargers potentially being even better this year. And I would just like the way that the Chargers play. And I think that now with Tyrell Williams gone, I think Keenan Allen may even see a couple more targets come his way this year. So let's do Keenan Allen here. I think Keenan Allen's a better option in PPR because he does get more targets each game when compared to T.Y. Hilton, obviously. So we're going to go Keenan Allen. After we select Keenan Allen, Nick Chubb, Leonard Fournette, T.Y. Hilton, Zach Ertz, Amari Cooper, Aaron Jones, A.J. Green, Stephon Diggs, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Jacobs, George Kittle, Tyreek Hill, and now it's our pick. So now you've noticed that all three of the big tight ends have went off the board. These three tight ends are going to go before the fourth round. Pretty much every single draft you do, unless it's like an 8-team league, maybe they'll fall to the fifth. But besides that, in 10, 12, 14-team league, you're going to be seeing these guys go off the board fast. Patrick Mahomes, first quarterback off the board in the fourth round. That's pretty normal for these drafts, but I know at your at-home draft, you might see Mahomes going in the second or the first round, the second round, or even the third round. So be aware of that. This website doesn't necessarily calculate in that the people in your league might be stupid and view quarterbacks too highly. So it's our pick. And I think here we need to go running back because I want either Mac or Carry on my team because there's definitely sort of a fall off, in my opinion, at the running backs you could get if none of them were to fall to us 7 picks later. So we're going to be going Carry on Johnson here. I like him more than Mac. I think Carry on could finish as a running back one at the end of the season, whereas I don't see that in Mac because of Hines behind him. I don't really think Carry on has anyone behind him that can really take a lot of his touches away. And while Carry on got injured last year, I don't think that sways my opinion too much on him, and I still like him a lot. I think Detroit is trying to build an offense more focused around like a Patriots offense because their coach, Matt Patricia, is obviously from Belichick's coaching tree, won multiple Super Bowls with Bill, and I think that now they want to run more instead of having Stafford throw the ball a bajillion times every single game. So I like Carry on here. Marlon Mack obviously is a pretty safe option too. I wouldn't be mad picking either of those guys, but we're going to go Carry on here because I view him as being the better back for this draft. So we went Carry on, followed by Derrick Henry, Marlon Mack, David Montgomery, Kenny Galladay, Calvin Ridley, Brandon Cooks. So now it's our pick. Now I would probably just wait on running back and go receiver, considering one of my favorite receiving options. Two of the guys I target in like every single draft are still here. So we got Julian Edelman and Robert Woods. Now this is much of a toss up as you're going to be seeing here. This is a pretty big toss up. I would go Julian Edelman because he just gets peppered with targets every single game. Brady's throwing like the ball to him like 10 times every game. And that's just something you want to have in PPR. This is full point PPR, so you might just be getting 9 free points because he catches the ball 9 times. That's for free. That Robert Woods is probably not going to catch the ball 9 times a game, as if he would even see 9 targets a game. So I'm not. They're both in the touchdown category. I don't necessarily think they're going to be scoring a shit ton of touchdowns, but I do like Julian Edelman for the PPR upside, and I would be going PPR. I mean, I would be going Julian Edelman over Woods in pretty much every situation. Even maybe in standard I'd go Woods, but I like Edelman more in PPR. So we're gonna go with Julian Edelman here. I like the Patriots offense more because in this situation Julian Edelman is the number one receiver, whereas in the Rams you're seeing guys like Woods, Cup, Cooks all on the same exact team. 3 great receivers, except for in fantasy you don't want Cup. 3 great receivers, so we're gonna be going Edelman here. After we picked Edelman, Robert Woods goes, followed by Philip Lindsay, Kenyon Drake, James White, Mark Ingram, Andrew Luck, Mike Williams, Cooper Kupp, Sony Michel, Chris Carson, Jarvis Landry, Tyler Lockett, and now it's our pick. So, with our pick, we would have probably wanted to go running back right here and have gotten Chris Carson here, but he was selected just 3 picks before we could even go. So now 2 quarterbacks have been selected off the board, Patrick Mahomes and Andrew Luck. Those are usually the top 2 guys selected, unless you're playing with someone who likes Rodgers more than Luck, or Watson more than Luck. So it's our pick right here, and we are just not going to go running back because I don't really see much value here. Hopefully Henderson falls to us in the next round, so we're going to be going receiver here. as our starting flex option, pretty much. And we're looking at some solid guys here. We got Chris Godwin, Sammy Watkins, Tyler Boyd, DJ Moore, Alshon Jeffrey. I don't like Alshon as much. Robbie Anderson, Dante Pettis, and Christian Kirk. Those are all some solid guys there, except for Alshon, who I don't want to target as much. I don't have any shares of Chris Godwin, and I think Chris Godwin is on a team that is so pass heavy that I think that it's worth the pick here, strictly because Winston's going to be slinging the ball. He doesn't give a fuck if he throws an interception. That's why he might throw this year. He might throw 33 touchdowns, but you know what? He's going to throw 33 interceptions too. But you don't lose points when he throws an interception because you have the receiver Godwin. So I'm going to go Godwin here just for that upside. And I think it's pretty much a toss up here between Godwin, Boyd, Moore, all those guys. But I think we can get Pettis later. So having a guy like Godwin, especially when I don't have Godwin on any other teams, even though we're just doing mock drafts, when you're doing a real draft, you want to make sure you to diversify, especially if you like two players pretty evenly. And if you own, say you own DJ Moore, Tyler Boyd in like 3 leagues, then your fourth league, you're going to want to go with a guy like Chris Godwin or someone different than what you normally do. Because you may be wrong, and most fantasy analysts are wrong about certain guys. You can't be right about everyone, so we're going to go Chris Godwin here. After we went Chris Godwin, Tyler Boyd, Deshaun Watson, OJ Howard, Aaron Rodgers, and Sammy Watkins and Tariq Cohen fly. Absolutely fly off the board. So it's our pick, and I don't think we're going to be able to get this guy if we pick a receiver here. So we're going to go running back, and we're going to wait for quarterback probably till like the 8th or probably to like the 10th round, unless Matt Ryan falls to us at our next pick. So we're gonna be going. We don't want Coleman. We don't want Geis. We don't. I'm starting to lighten up more on Coleman. Maybe Coleman is that guy on the 49ers, but we don't know yet because preseason has not begun. We don't know if Coleman is the man with the plan. So we're gonna go. We don't want Geis because we don't know if Geis is the guy either. He got injured last year. I don't want him to come back and get hurt again. You're doing with injury risk, and he's also a guy who we just know nothing about in the NFL, obviously, because he got hurt before he could even play a game. So, and they have Peterson. They got a lot of guys on that team. So I don't really trust that. But we do got a guy here that if we don't pick him here, he's not going to fall to us. And he is Todd Gurley's backup right now. He's a guy that if Gurley goes down, which is entirely possible, after he's probably going to play injured all season because his knee is absolutely fucked. We're going to be going with Henderson here because of the upside. If Gurley goes down, like I said, he's going to be like a top 12 running back, most likely. You saw CJ Anderson did the same thing last year when Gurley was hurt. And CJ Anderson is the kind of guy, not CJ Anderson, Darrell Henderson is also a pass catching back, so he could probably fill that role pretty well. So we're going to go with Darrell Henderson here. I think he can catch the passes. I think he could do the job, even if Gurley is healthy. Gurley is hurt, so we haven't seen any preseason action. We haven't seen any regular season action, obviously, because it is July. But we're gonna hope that Henderson is even. He's gonna be in the game even when Gurley is playing. So we're gonna hope that Henderson does good or that Gurley is hurt like we project. And having this much upside in the 7th round is good when hopefully we can get a guy like Lamar Miller, Latavius Murray, more safer guys, in my opinion, to come in the 8th or 9th round. Now, I always preach you got to be safe. You got to be safe. Don't be silly. Wrap your willy, that kind of deal. But in this situation, we went safe. Our first 4 picks, 5 picks are pretty safe. All 6 of these guys we have right now are pretty safe and it's important to go safe in the first 4 rounds. But now we're in the 7th round, so it's okay to be a bit risque here. So we're going Darrell Henderson. After we go Darrell Henderson, Darius Geis, Baker Mayfield, Hunter Henry, DJ Moore, Evan Ingram, Eric Ebron, Tevin Coleman, Matty Ice, damn it, Latavius Murray, Dante Pettis, Alshon Jeffrey, Christian Kirk, and now it's our pick. So Rashad Penny did fall to us, and so did Lamar Miller. Now, since Matt Ryan went, we're not going to be going quarterback here, and we're just going to wait a bit. But let me point something out here. In the first 3 rounds, like I said, the big 3 tight ends are going to go. And then the next couple of rounds, all the middling guys are going to be going off the board. So OJ Howard, Hunter Henry, Evan Ingram, Eric Ebron, and Jared Cook are going to be going off the board at these picks. So if we wanted, say we didn't pick Kelsey and we were high on Cook, I'm not that high on Cook. This is where we would have had to pick him. I prefer guys like Hunter Henry or Evan Ingram or even Vance McDonald to cook. I don't like Eric Ebron. I would avoid him because Jack Doyle wasn't there last year. He was hurt, and he's the better blocking tight end, so he'll be out there even more than Ebron. So it's kind of risky drafting a guy on a team where they use two tight ends. Like the best team to ever use two tight ends was the Patriots when they had Gronk and Aaron Hernandez, but obviously the Colts are not the Patriots, and Aaron Hernandez is dead. So it is our pick. And we do want to go running back here because there's always receivers. There's always going to be receivers that we like later in the draft, but there's not always running backs that we like later in the draft because it's also easier to pick up a receiver off the waiver wire that's going to do good rather than a running back. Strictly because the only running backs you'll be picking up that are going to be any good are guys after someone goes down and you're picking up their backup. So we need to make sure we get the guys we like here at running back in the draft. So Penny or Lamar Miller would be the pick here. Penny has the upside of becoming the one on the Seahawks, and that is something that he's still going to be out there, probably splitting 50-50 with Chris Carson. But Chris Carson will probably get the goal line work, so do we want Penny or do we want Lamar Miller? Now, we went pretty safe on all these guys except for Henderson. But if you want to have Mr. Safe on your team, you're going to want to draft Lamar Miller because this guy, he doesn't do anything flashy. If you look at his points, if you look here, this dude never does anything flashy. He's just Mr. Consistent. He's going to be scoring you 12 points every goddamn game pretty much. And on such a high powered offense like Houston, I think that I've lightened up on Lamar Miller. And we're going to take him here, and hopefully Penny falls to us. But if he doesn't, it's A-okay, because we got other guys later that we like too. So we're going to go Miller here for the safety, and he's always a solid flex option in case Chris Godwin does not pan out, or Darrell Henderson does not pan out. So we're going Lamar Miller here. After Lamar Miller, Robbie Anderson, Jared Cook, N'Keal Harry, Will Fuller, Kareem Hunt, and Al Robinson. So we get Rashad Penny. What type of luck is that? Usually I say something, and the guy gets absolutely snatched from us. Not snatched, whatever the fuck I said. But let me bring something up here. This guy at the 9.2 picked Kareem Hunt. Now this guy is pretty fucking stupid. You can't be picking Kareem Hunt. The only time I can see you picking Kareem Hunt is if you have Nick Chubb. This guy does not have Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt isn't going to do shit, most likely. I would 100% avoid him because you don't want someone staying on your bench for 8 goddamn weeks while he is suspended. So you don't want that. So it's just a stupid idea picking him. He's not the one on the team. He's probably going to be the 2, and I don't see that if Chubb does as good as I think he will, that Kareem Hunt can even take the job. So another pick I do actually like after we picked Lamar Miller was Will Fuller. While Will Fuller is definitely an injury risk, he's probably going to get hurt in the games he played with Deshaun Watson, the starting quarterback of the Houston Texans. They were absolutely on fire. He was like a wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 1 pretty much every single game, and he's a solid flex option. But he does have that injury risk, obviously, so you know if you're drafting in the 9th round, he's obviously probably not going to play all 16 games. He may tear his ACL week 8, week 9. But you know what? You got to take that risk because Will Fuller is going to win you so many games just by putting him in your flex position. If you take, I would not have done what he did. He took 2 risky guys back to back, in my opinion, when he has Antonio Brown and Kenny Golladay, so I guess it's okay. But I wouldn't be going Harry with Fuller. I'd want something more safe, like say a Marvin Jones. Even though he already has Kenny Golladay, so he wouldn't want to do that. Probably a guy like Sterling Shepard, who may not be necessarily. Sterling Shepard is a guy that I'm okay with. He's not going to be what Odell was, obviously, but he's still in like the 9th round, being the probably most likely the wide receiver 1, the number 1 target on the team besides Saquon or Evan Ingram. Probably be like the number 3 look. You want that on your team. So who gives a fuck about that? Because that is not our team, and our team has Rashad Penny for the reasons I said before. We got Rashad Penny. So after we picked Rashad Penny, Drew Brees, LaShawn McCoy, Carson Wentz, the Rolls Royce, Donta Foreman, Corey Davis, Miles Sanders, Ronald Jones, Sterling Shepard, Chicago defense, Geronimo Allison, Jordan Howard, and now it is our pick. So let me point out something here. You don't want to draft LaShawn McCoy because he may get cut, just like Frank Gore of the Bills. You don't want any of these Bills running backs unless you're drafting Singletary with like your second to last pick. You don't want any of those guys. Royce Freeman, I like him. The only guy I want to point out here that I really hate, Corey Davis. I talk about this guy probably in every single mock draft. You need to cancel that guy. You print out your thing that has all your names on it that you're going to be drafting, the order, your rankings. And you know what you're going to do with Corey Davis? You're just going to mark him off. Like, you're going to be like, you're not going to be sitting here in the ninth round and be like, oh, no one picked Corey Davis? What a steal. No, Corey Davis is not a steal in anything. Corey Davis fucking sucks. I can't stand that guy. Fuck that guy. He's probably a nice guy in real life, but fuck him for fantasy. We don't want him. He hasn't done shit in years. You don't want that guy. So right now we have 4, 5 running backs and 3 receivers. And as I always preach, you need to finish with more running backs than receivers. But I think we go one more running back here and then go receivers or a quarterback. So right here it's between Jalen Samuels or Austin Eckler, two guys who are pretty, I think are going to be a big part, not a big part, but a part of their offense. Jalen Samuels obviously the two behind James Conner. Eckler is the two behind Melvin Gordon. The problem with Eckler I see is when Melvin Gordon went down, Justin Jackson, the third string guy, absolutely lit it up. He was charged up. That was funny because he's on the Chargers. You get it? He was charged up and he was fucking running. He scored so many points. Justin Jackson when Melvin Gordon was hurt, but Eckler was still out there scoring some solid points. Eckler's a pass catching back. He's pretty. He's pretty good, but I think I want Jalen Samuels in this situation because if James Conner goes down, he will be the workhorse back, in my opinion. I do think he will be used when James Conner is not on the field as well. He's also might be running out there as a receiver because, as we all know, James Washington fucking sucks, and Dante Moncrief is the two on the team. So Jalen Samuels, if he doesn't pan out, he's a 10th round pick. You cut his ass, get him the fuck off your team. If you own James Conner, you want him. So that's all I'm saying. We're going Jalen Samuels here on the upside. Big upside with Jalen Samuels. Boom shakalaka. After we go Samuels, the Vance refrigeration, Vance McDonald has been picked. Golden Tate, followed by Austin Eckler, Russell Wilson, Cam Newton. So now we're at the point where I need to start counting how many quarterbacks have been taken because it's a 10-team league and we need a quarterback. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So every team is a quarterback, and this guy is a backup quarterback. So that's about the time you're going to be wanting to take a quarterback unless you picked a quarterback early. So we're going to be going with the absolute upside of my boy Dirty Kyler Murray. This guy, he could be a top 5 quarterback at the end of this season. He is while I think if you pick Kyler Murray, you may have to pick a backup quarterback because I don't necessarily know if I want to play him week 1. Let me see what his matchup is. It is not going to tell me what his matchup is because why would it tell me that? He is going to be the week 1 starter obviously, but we're gonna pick him. Hope he has a good matchup week 1. See how he does. We may even bench him if he's not in a good situation. Play a guy like Josh Allen, who we could draft as our backup quarterback. But I think in 10-team leagues, you don't really need to draft a backup quarterback, so we may not even draft one and wait and then maybe cut someone if we don't want to start Murray week 1. But I am pretty confident in Kyler Murray coming into this season. Uh, his running ability is very good. I made a video on him calling him a sleeper. He's not as much of a sleeper now because I've seen him going in like the ninth or eighth round, and where previously he was going around here like the 11th or the 12th, where I'm much happier taking him. In this situation, he fell all the way to the 11th. So we're going to be going Kyler Murray here, feeling pretty good about it, and hoping his rushing makes us very happy because, as you know in fantasy, rushing quarterbacks are cheat codes. So we're going Kyler Murray. After we pick Kyler Murray, Damian Harris, David Njoku, Austin Hooper, DK Metcalf, Larry Fitz, Jared Goff, McCole Hardman, LA defense, Deshaun Jackson, Jerick McKinnon, Cortland Sutton, Carlos Hyde, and now it's our pick. Now, I didn't bring this up, but this guy picked the Bears in the 10th round. You shouldn't be picking any defense really before the last 2 rounds where you're picking your kicker and your defense in whatever order you do. But I can see reaching for the Bears because of the upside they had last year. I personally will not do it, but if you pick them in the 10th round, I'm not going to hate you. But if you're picking them in like the 6th round and you're thinking that that's worth it, you probably have a goddamn hole in your head because that is stupid. And don't do that. Don't be that guy in your draft who picks a defense before the last pick or your second last pick. So now it's our pick again. We've got a pretty good team here. But now we're going to want to get a receiver because we don't really want a running back right here, and we could pick a running back later if we want to get one more. So we have three receivers right now. Our fourth, we got some solid guys here. We got D.D. Westbrook, Kiki Cootie, MVS, Curtis Samuels, all guys I'm willing to draft here. It's pretty much a toss up between these guys, but I do want to get one of these guys more than the other, and that is MVS. MVS, Marquez Valdez Scantling. He's a guy that could end up being the two on Green Bay, the second receiver. So behind Devontae Adams, it could be him. It could be Geronimo Allison. And with a 12th round pick, that is something you want to target. Such a high-powered offense. When Aaron Rodgers is throwing you the ball, you're gonna do good. You're gonna be catching those balls because he throws into tight windows. So we're gonna be going MVS here, Marquez Valdez Scantling, and hoping that he gets that receiver two spot. We'll know closer to the season starting and minicamp and all that shit they do preseason what MVS's role will be, but we're going to hope that it's that receiver two, and we're going to pick him right here. Boom. After we go MVS, Jags defense goes, followed by D.D. Westbrook, Ito Smith, T.J. Hawkinson, Chargers defense, Jameis Winston. So, normally I like to go with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 running backs only? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we have 6, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 receivers. So normally we go with the 7-4 running back to receiver ratio. And I think that is just what we'll do here because I feel pretty safe with the receivers we got. And getting some more running back lottery tickets here is pretty good. So we're going with Peyton Barber here. Pretty much the only reason why we're going to do that is because there's a possibility that he's the #1 running back on Tampa Bay. It might be him. It might be Ronald Jones. And we're just going to take that hope with the 13th pick. That is Peyton Barber. And something I've been doing is picking Peyton Barber and Ronald Jones together, which is something that is kind of stupid but at the same time, you're solidifying one whole backfield by picking Peyton Barber and him. So you get the whole Tampa Bay backfield. So I think it's worth it. So we're going to be going Peyton Barber here. Boom. After we go Peyton Barber, Kiki Cootie goes, followed by Curtis Samuels, Adrian Peterson, Tom Brady, Baltimore defense, Sebastian Janikowski, Greg Zuerlein, Cleveland Browns defense, Justin Tucker, Dallas Cowboys, Gronk, and now it's our pick. Now, don't be the guy who picks Gronk. Gronk is not in the NFL. Don't be picking anyone that's not in the goddamn NFL. That is retired. Doug Baldwin, don't pick him. He's retired. So now it's our pick. And we're going to be going defense here. Now, the way to pick a defense is you type in Google NFL pocket schedule, NFL schedule, and you look for week 1 and you see who's playing a weak offense and you pick that defense. It is that easy. And then you know what you do week 2? You come back to Nick's channel, you come back to the Notorious Fantasy, you click that fucking subscribe button, and now you're back here. It's week 2, it's September something, and you're like, ooh, which defense should I stream? And I tell you which one to do. And you switch to that defense because they're playing a shitty opponent, shitty offense, and you win that goddamn game. So we're going the Vikings here. I don't know anything about the Vikings schedule. I couldn't give less of a fuck right now because it's July, and in August, my mock drafts will actually include me knowing which defenses play against shitty teams, and there'll probably even be a video about it of which defense to draft. So we're going Minnesota Vikings right now. Boom. If we go Vikings, much kickers go, followed by defense, followed by Philip Rivers, James Washington. And now it's our pick, and we're going kicker, obviously. But let me tell you about James Washington. James Washington might not be the receiver 2 on Pittsburgh. It's Juju, followed by him or Moncrief. And a report came out that Moncrief will be the number 2. And I've been saying all fucking offseason, you want Moncrief. You don't want James Washington. Go with the older guy, the veteran, who can do something now. Now, if you're in a fucking dynasty league, you probably want James Washington. But if you're in a redraft, a 4-now league, 4-now, you want Moncrief. And unless he gets hurt, I don't see James Washington even passing him. He's a better talent right now than James Washington. So, now it's our pick. And we're going Steven Gostkowski. You want to know why? Because he's fucking good. That's why we're going him. We went Gostkowski, followed by a bunch of fucking defenses, a kicker. We got Emmanuel Sanders, followed by a kicker. And then Devin Singletary, JJ. JJ, currently not on a team, may end up on a team. So I guess probably during when you're actually drafting, you might actually want to draft him because he might be on an actual team. Devin Singletary is a good pick at the end of the draft, but you would not be picking him highly at all because you don't know what to do with the Buffalo backfield. So now we're gonna recap our roster. We got starting quarterback Kyler Murray, followed by our starting running backs of Alvin Kamara, on Johnson. Our two receivers are Keenan Allen, Julian Edelman. Our tight end is Travis Kelsey. Our flex is Chris Godwin. Kicker defense don't matter. Our bench is Darrell Henderson, Lamar Miller, Rashad Penny, Jalen Samuels, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Peyton Barber. So thank you guys all for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. Click the subscribe that's somewhere on the screen right now. Click the one down below. Click the like button. Click the notification bell. Leave a comment. Whatever the fuck you want to leave. And have a great goddamn day. I'll see you guys on Wednesday, which is tomorrow. So have a goddamn day. Goodbye.